Okay, so now we're gonna try to see how, I sound right now. Alright, cool. I've determined that I sound pretty good. So, hello, everyone. I would just want to say hi and welcome you to the Onaverse. My name is Anna, and I'm just curious about stuff and things and everything in the universe. And so I know that other people are too. We're all mini scientists. We all look at different things and try to figure things out. We all, even though some people may not admit it, we all love a good mystery. We all love solving a good problem. So it makes us all scientists. It makes us all wanderers of the universe, questioners of the universe. So this podcast is going to be my universe, the Onaverse, and we're going to talk about pretty much everything and nothing at the same time. I don't like to be limited, and so you can expect to hear pretty much anything. I am into astrology a little bit, even though honestly I don't know that much. I just know like the bare minimum to make it by. We're going to talk about maybe shows like the Midnight Gospel, where we delve deeply into inner workings that need to be addressed. We're going to talk about stuff I see on Twitter, because I follow a lot of like spiritual people, positivity. We're going to talk about different connections in between people and the earth. We're going to talk about my life, other people's lives, maybe even your life, because we're all connected and all situations kind of go together in this universe, even if you don't realize the connection. So, with that being said, hello and welcome to the Onaverse. I wanted to say like hello cosmonauts or scientists or something, but I'm really bad with names and those just sound really like unoriginal. So I guess it'll come eventually. But the reason that I'm recording today is because there's something that I wanted to talk about. So let's talk about it. I didn't feel like putting it on my Twitter. I tend to have a lot to say, so my Twitter is a lot of rambles. I may share it with you one day when it gets a little less personal, but for right now, it's my personal space. Which is funny to say of, a social media platform, because it's social media, but it's my personal space. It's more like the space where I get my personal thoughts out. And because I know that I don't have an audience, I'm able to be very raw and very real. And I wanted to cultivate that rawness and that realness without the influence of a following, just so that when, let's say one day I do get a little following or whatever, because I've never been popular. I don't really plan on being popular. But whenever I get a little following, I still want to remain really raw and real. And maybe I may not put specific personal issues out there, but I still want to be able to address things in life and not worry about, oh, if I say this, people will look at me this way. If I say this, people will look at me that way, which is something that I've struggled with doing my entire life, which led to a lot of anxiety growing up that held me back a ton. And I know that I'm not the only one who can relate to anxiety, sort of pushing back your goals, pushing back what you wanted to do, what you thought you would do. Having physical effects on you. Like, I have gastrointestinal problems because of all the anxiety that I suffered from throughout middle school, high school. I noticed it in elementary school that I was a bit different. So it's just a whole process that you go through when you have this anxiety. So I don't want to get into that because I've worked past that, and I know a lot of people are working through it now. They've worked past it before, they're still in throes of it, they're still trying to navigate things. So, this podcast will hopefully help you, just explore more about the world, be more mindful in the present moment, and relax. I want nothing but positivity and love for everyone. And I know a lot of people say that, and it's not toxic positivity. It's more like I just want you to have all of the positive growth that is meant to come your way. So, I know I said that I wanted to talk about something, and that was definitely not what I wanted to talk about, but today I wanted to bring up the topic of astrological progressions, because whether you believe in astrology or not, and so many people do, so many people don't, and then there's so many people who are like, I don't believe it, but hey, this seems accurate. I mean, to each their own. I believe in it. I do believe there's a lot of things that are kind of annoying, that are kind of like cliche, sort of. They're like, they kind of give it a bad name or make people look at it in a bad light. Like when people like are like, oh, I hate Geminis, but it's like there's different Geminis, or they're like, oh, Tauruses only love to eat food and like to lay around. It's like, no, there's different layers to that. A lot of different layers. So another thing, is that Scorpios are always emo and dark and black. Oh my god, that annoys the shit out of me. Like, all of the Scorpios that I've met, they're not emo, dark. They don't wear dark clothes all the time. They're like really chill, happy people. And like, yeah, they're really kinky. They are. Super. But I wouldn't equate that with darkness or not even necessarily BDSM. I mean, a lot of different signs like BDSM. I feel like Aquarians, are a sign that kind of will try anything just to try it, and they end up liking it, so they might do it more. I know a couple of Aquarians. I'm an Aquarian, a couple of best friends, couple of exes, and it's all like, yeah, we'll try anything, like we're into whatever. So it's, to each their own. But we're gonna look at progressions, and I'm gonna be all over the place. That is the whole point of this podcast. It's the Onaverse. It's my universe. And that sounds selfish, but like, we're not here to talk about you. I mean, we are, because since we're all connected and we're all one, me talking about myself is technically me talking about you. But like, don't come in here expecting like me to cater to what you want or to do things or say things a certain way. It's not going to happen. This is literally my space, and I want to welcome you all in it. That's why I said welcome to the Onaverse, because I want to open my mind to everyone. And I want to have people open their minds to me. Like, I want you to bring in your knowledge. I want you to comment. I want you to, give your input. This isn't, a closed circuit thing. It's everybody's welcome. And we're going to eventually have a space where everybody can talk, like maybe a Discord or something, because I want everybody to be able to interact with each other, because that's how we learn more, that's how we gain more experience, and that's how we become more diverse. That's how we learn how to deal with other personalities. That's how we expand the universe and like universal consciousness. So yeah, whole other tangent. Again, I go on a lot of tangents. You'll get to know that about me. Second, progressions. Astrological progressions. Okay, so what these are is, okay, let's say you know that you were born and you're a Virgo. You don't, you're a Virgo, technically your whole life, sure. But the sky, even though it looks the same to you, is constantly changing. And this change, this cyclical change, affects how your zodiac is presented and how it shows up and how these traits show up with you. And because of how the stars and the planets change, you change along with it over time. So there are some things that may not change as much throughout your lifetime, but your sun and your moon and your rising, Mercury, Mars, those might change a little bit more often throughout your life. And these changes often coincide with you feeling different. So you tend to feel these changes even if you are not aware of what's going on. So these changes are called secondary progressions. And honestly, I'm just going to say right off the bat that astrologists, people who are really into it, are going to hate me because, like I said, I know the bare minimum. But I want to explore this topic. And if you want to share your knowledge with me, then share it. I am simply using this to bring my experience to light, and maybe it will bring others' experiences to light. So, in the realm of secondary progressions, I've been talking to my friends, and we've kind of been going through this similar shift. And it's been like a shift into higher consciousness, higher levels of thinking, more spirituality, more becoming in tune with themselves, and more calmly accepting what is in their lives. And that calm acceptance is a very big difference for a lot of people because, one person that I know, they have battled with love, intimacy, romance, and their ideas and ideals of it. And so they have recently gotten to the point where they are saying, okay, even though I have run away from romance and intimacy and all this other stuff, I am accepting that this is how I feel right now. And that's okay. Like, for me personally, I have accepted, like, okay, my love may not be reciprocated, but whatever happens. If I end up getting into a relationship and it ends, okay, what did we learn? What was the lesson? What was that meant to do? Was that the right path? Was that, knowledge gained? Was that a connection that will always be there, So it's not necessarily not being sad or anything, and it's not disconnecting from your emotions. It's more like just calm acceptance. What is will be. What will be is. It is what it is, which is what I've been hearing a lot, honestly, for the last couple of weeks. Just, it is what it is. There's nothing you can do about that. And it made me look at my chart, and I'm an Aquarius sun, Aries Moon, and usually, I'm very temperamental. I'm very logical, so I'm constantly, overthinking things, getting in my head, going from like the best possible scenario to the worst possible scenario, and then detaching because I'm like, I don't need to think about this at all because it's a waste of time. And then there's my Aries Moon that is just very passionate, very emotional, very like, quick to upset. And so, in tense situations or like the situation that I'm currently in, I would be like, oh, I'm upset, I'm angry, I'm hurt, I'm just distraught, I'm just overcome with these emotions, but I am calm And it's like I feel the emotions that, it's like I feel that, their influence, but it's not affecting me. I'm not reacting. And that is a huge difference. And I figure that is happening for a lot of people right now. Just that calmness, that stopping of that usual reaction that you would have. And it's crazy. So I looked at progressions because I was like, what's going on in my chart? And I saw that I've progressed into Pisces for my sun, and maybe for my moon. Let's take a look-see over here. Don't mind me just looking at my phone because oh yes, so my sun and moon right now are both in Pisces, and they're both in the 9th house right now. And what I was reading showed that the 9th house is sort of the area of your chart for spirituality. It's the area that governs, like, religion, sort of how you judge people, what's the verdict, how you will ultimately react to things. And with that Piscean energy there, it's just bringing about this sense of clarity, this sense of it is what it is, this sense of just your higher form in terms of, how you deal with things. So you may find yourself feeling a little bit more independent. Like, let's say there's something that you really wanted, but you didn't really think it was, good for you. And this is the point in your life where you can say, all right, I know for a fact, definitely now, that this is not good for me. So I'm going to let it go. And this is an amazing energy. And I'm kind of a little bit jealous of people with Pisces in their 9th house right now. Like I said, astrology people may get mad at me because they're like, she doesn't know what she's talking about because Pisces in the 9th house sucks. I don't know. This is just my interpretation right now. And my interpretation is that, it's cool. I feel like it denotes traveling to a higher level of ascension of your higher self, your higher mind. And that is something that, a lot of people strive for. That's something a lot of people say that they want to do, but they never make any steps towards it. And I feel like this is forcing that step towards it. And that's amazing. One of my best friends shares an Aries moon with me. So I guess her Aries moon is in Pisces now, and she has had the similar experience of this just awakening, this calmness, this clarity, this peace. And it's crazy because she was stressed out for so long and just worrying for so long and pushing stuff away. And she was frantic for a very long time. And I saw her the other day, and that was the calmest I had seen her, if she wasn't in pain or something. Honestly, it was miraculous to see because I had never seen her just in that state of calm, and it was amazing. It just shows how much something so small can affect you. And I don't know if my volume sounds different or not, but I just closed the door and I think it was open earlier, so I may sound a little bit more echoey or empty. I don't know audio things yet. I will learn, and the podcast will get better quality, the sound will get better. The area that I'm working in is a work in progress. That will get better. So we're just kind of starting from scratch right now and working with the bare minimum because I just really wanted to get this out here. So if you are feeling that transition to that sense of calm and it's kind of taking you by surprise, like you're just kind of like, I don't, like, what is this? Why am I reacting like this when this wouldn't usually be my reaction? I don't know what, is going on with me. Just kind of flow with it. And I know there's a lot of different things that may come up with this. Like, it's not just a feeling of calm you're flowing with. It's maybe you may feel a random attraction to someone that you never thought you would. Just let it flow. I'm not saying to react on it and, go have sex with that person, but just acknowledge that it's there and, sort of assess why you think it may be there. What, is that attraction? What exactly is doing it? And, do you have to act on it? And the answer is no, you don't have to act on what you are feeling, but you can always acknowledge that it's there and use that to become better and more knowledgeable in the future. So that was sort of what I wanted to sort of come on here and say about progressions, even though I know it was strictly, sort of this progression of Pisces, but I feel like not just Pisceans or not just placements with Pisces progressions are going through this right now. I feel like this is a common thing that's coming around for people. This may be a time where something you've been reflecting on, you're like, okay, I'm going to start this and it's going to be cool. I'm not worried. So it's the time to let go of those worries. And I know for a lot of people, you may not be able to do this. Your worries may be right in your face and you may not be able to take a step back and let that go. And that's okay. But just know that the point will come where you will be able to look at those worries and remain in a state of calm and know exactly what needs to get done to achieve your goals, to move forward, to move towards happiness, to get started on what you've wanted to do, to get the person that you want, to attract the person that you want if you don't know exactly who you want, to build something, to build that solid foundation. I feel like this is a great time for building those solid foundations after, everything is blown up and it's like to smithereens and you've been looking at it and it may have been months, it may have been like a whole year. You've been looking at these fucking pieces just sitting around and you're just like, what the fuck do I do with this? And you've been sitting there trying to put something together and you don't even know what the fuck you're doing. You're just like, oh, does this fit here? Will this work? No, it won't work, and it hasn't worked. But this is the time now where all of a sudden those pieces start to fit together. And some of those pieces that you can't find a fit for, you're just sweeping them away. You're sweeping most of the debris away, most of the rubble from whatever the fuck happened, whatever building got torn down. In tarot, they have the tower card because the tower is like falling, it's on fire and shit. It's like that. And that whatever fell, you're going to find those pieces that fit together that you haven't been able to find before, and you're going to sweep the rest of that shit away. And you're going to use those pieces that fit together to build a strong ass foundation. A super strong ass foundation. And there's not to say the tower won't fall again. That's fine. You can't control that shit. You're doing your best to build what you can with the knowledge that you can, with the clarity that you have now. But in the future, you may find out that, oh, there was a fault here. Okay? And that's, increasing the pressure on what you built, and it's gonna fucking fall. And maybe you even like see the problem and you can fix the problem, starting with the foundation. You fix the root of the problem and then that's done. But maybe you see the problem too late and it comes crashing down again. That's okay. You just gotta rebuild it. Some people right now, their houses are in the processes of falling right now. Some people, they see that fault and they're trying to figure out what to do to fix it. Some people, they're just now like finishing up their house. Like they just finished rebuilding their house, like their tower, their foundation. They just finished rebuilding that. Some people are still looking through the fucking pieces. Some people are sweeping away some pieces. Some people are just now finding what pieces fit. Some people haven't found shit yet. Some people are just like, let me just sweep everything away. Fuck it, I'm not looking for any pieces. Just throw everything away. But the thing with getting rid of everything is you have to look through it first. You have to. It's just like going through your entire closet, throwing everything away without looking at it. Why would you do that? What if you accidentally throw away something that wasn't yours? What if you accidentally throw away your favorite shirt because you thought that it wasn't in the closet? You thought that it was washed already or thought that it was dirty and in the dirty clothes. Like, even though it sucks to look through all that, you have to look through that. Because otherwise, you don't know what the fuck you're getting rid of. So that assessment time has to be there. And if you just get rid of all that shit, you don't learn what happened to make it fall. And you're just going to end up repeating the same mistakes and being in that same cycle. And that's something you want to break. This is a cycle breaking moment. I love the transitions of fall. I love it. Ever since September 22nd, things have just been so clear. I believe fall heavily is the time of death and rebirth. It's the time where all that shit that you have been struggling with dies. All the shit that doesn't suit you dies. All the shit you don't need, it dies, it goes away. It's transformed. You are transforming. There's a whole lot of freaking power here. A lot. And you should utilize it. You really should. Because otherwise, you're just wasting another cycle. And there is so much power. Look at the moon right now. 2020 has been a fucking crazy ass year. And look at the moon. We're having 2 full moons this month. I'm recording this on October 2nd? Yeah, it's October 2nd. So I'm recording this on October 2nd. Last night was a beautiful full moon. And, a lot of people look at the dates and they're like, oh, the full moon is only one day. The moon, I have an app on my phone. It will be 98 degrees, 98% full. And like, you're going to tell me that's not a full moon because 2% is invisible to us. We don't even know that 2% is imperceptible to our eyes. So I count, 3 full days as the full moon, as a lot of people do, because it's Earth. Like, science puts the full moon as the time when the moon is at its fullest, like 100%. But like that 97, 98, 99%, that's still a full moon, is it not? Are you still not getting the majority of the moon's light? So not even the majority, like the almost maximum. So I went on a little tangent. Like I said, you're gonna get a lot of that from me. So just use that power right now. And no matter what stage you're in, whether you're building your house, whether it's coming down, whether you're looking through pieces, sweeping shit away, whatever stage that you're in, just stop for a moment and just acknowledge that this was meant to happen. And even though it may suck, you're going to get so much from it. So just sit there and calmly, like, go through these pieces. Like, look, And you're going to find yourself in a much better place than you were before. And you're going to keep having to rebuild so that your freaking house can get better. It's basically like you start off on like a blank piece of land, then you get yourself a trailer home. Okay, fucking tornado blows that shit away. All right, you decide, I'm gonna put some blocks on my trailer home, something to weigh it down or something to keep the tornado from blowing it away. Next tornado still blows it away. You're like, all right, I fuck this, trailer park home. I need to get, some sort of house. So, you start building a single family house, well, a single bedroom house, like a studio apartment. You start building one of those, halfway through building it, another tornado comes, tears that shit down. You're like, fuck, what was wrong? And it's because you were doing it wrong and you needed to start over. And if you didn't start over and if you finished building that, you would have just had so much more mess to clean up. So it's that constant cycle of like you building that shit, getting your house in order. That tornado comes, like, nah, like this isn't for you. You deserve better. So you're constantly going down this path, small improvements, small changes, big changes, transformations, whatever. It leads to you becoming so much more than you are right now. And when you look at it like that, your worries about the future, like, it's okay, because no matter what, as long as you keep rebuilding after the fuck ups come, you're going to be in a better place than you were. And I know that's hard for a lot of people to believe. I know that's hard because I've been at the point where I didn't believe that I would be able to rebuild. I've been at that point several times. My card, not my tarot card, but if you do Lenormand, I think cartomancy, whatever, and the Lenormand thing, my card is the 9 of Spades, basically the death card. My whole life, it's just constant. And it was to the point where I was like, I don't know if I can handle this. I can't handle this. And I had to, go get professional help to handle it. And that ended up helping me a ton and opening my eyes in ways I never expected. And that was a whole transformative experience. I moved, transformative experience, moved again, transformative experience, relationships, rebuilding, tearing down, rebuilding. It's all a cycle. And it is exhausting when you think about all of it. Like that, me saying that was very exhausting. But if you just stay in the present moment, it's not exhausting. Because I'm not thinking about all that on a regular basis. Usually I'm just thinking about what pieces I'm finding. Because right now I'm in the process of looking for pieces and sweeping away, pieces of my house. I don't know, what house stage I'm in. But hey, we'll find out when we get there. But I'm not concerned with, oh, let me hurry up and finish building. No, I'm strictly concerned with putting these pieces together, finding what fits, getting rid of what doesn't. And that is something that has to come with time. And same for you. It's going to take time. You can't rush that. And so many people have been so frustrated trying to rush that. One of my other friends, he wanted to hurry up and get his stuff off the road. I told him, you can't rush that. You have to just have faith and just keep doing what you're doing. Just focus on the present moment. He had a lot of trouble doing that. Now he's the happiest I've ever seen him. And it's great. I love it. He's thriving. He's doing exactly what he wanted to do. He's doing exactly what he outlined to me in his plan for what he wants for his life. And he didn't get there by thinking about what he needed to, finish right. He didn't get there worrying about building the house. which is funny because he literally builds houses. But he didn't get there worrying about, the finished product. He had to stop worrying about the finished product and start worrying about what he was doing in the moment. And I feel like once that shift happened, that transformation happened. And that was that house being torn down so that it could be rebuilt. So I was going to end this a while ago. I'm surprised that I talked this long. But I mean, I told you guys at the beginning, I talk a lot and I go on tangents and I ramble, and it's the Onaverse, everything and nothing at the same time. So we're going to end it here for the day because I have some other work to do. And these may be longer in the future, maybe shorter. We don't know what'll happen. I may have plans sometimes. Most of the time I probably won't. We'll see. Whatever. But I want you guys to know that I honestly and truly and genuinely love you. And I hope you have an amazing, amazing day, week, month, year, moment. And peace out from the Onaverse.